Bulelani is Ozzy's brother's name. Ozzy's brother died in a car accident 4 years ago in South Africa. And so when we were thinking of a name, I said to Ozzy, I said, well, what about Bulelani?
Like a night out with no moon.
You know, if you enjoy doing something and you pass that through to, I think, if you do love, you know, then people, they feel the love. I've always worked front of house, but I always loved cooking. But you know, the things that I've always made friends with chefs, and I've always asked them for and I say, oh chef, you know, how do you make this? You know, so I'm going to be making. I've got friends coming over for dinner. I'd like to make. How do you make this dish? You know, so I get the recipes and the technique how they, you know, and I always look. I always spend more time in the kitchen than in the floor. You know, it's like.
Our main goal is to open a restaurant at one point, and what we did was Ozzy started making ribs, and he wanted to open a ribs restaurant because there is no really good ribs restaurant in Amsterdam and around.
When we decided we were going to do it, we just did it, you know, and yeah, and then just let everything else, just let it flow, you know. I don't think too much. I just do. I'm a doer. So because if you start analyzing and analyzing, then you end up not doing anything.
We started testing the food with our friends. So we would have dinner parties with a large group of friends, different weekends, to test it, our concept. So we built a concept around Bulelani to look to creating a restaurant in the future.
This is just a cut from the ribs. So I'll just smoke it. As you can see, it's beautiful color there on the meat. They're starting to give way. So then when they're done in an hour, they even be better because they'll be more sort of like, what's it, elastic? Yeah. Flexible, that's the word I'm just looking for. But they're still intact, so there's no meat coming off the bone when I cut it. So it's still intact. That's the most important when I cut, because when I serve it, it's going to look neat. And then when you bite, and then you just go, poof, it just disappears.
And it's really interesting. Some people will start eating with a fork and knife, and they'll say, "Oh, can I eat with my hands?" And they just love it. It's something very primitive and something very human. Eating around a table with your hands, with strangers and friends. My role is, it's interesting. Ozzy concentrates on food, so he does all the food, and I don't step in. I'll tell him and remind him maybe about the schedule. Have you done that salad? Have you done that? Run to the shop.
Break the bonds that grip my...
I still panic, you know. I still worry, you know. I always look at his faces. Oh, are they talking too much? If they're talking, then I know they're not enjoying it. If they're quiet, if there's silence on the table, they know that they're enjoying it.
I do all the decoration, set up the table, organize, host, work front of house.
When we hear this, let's go, you know, that's all we hear. And then we also had a friend who just pick up a bone and just like the meat and just smell it first, and then eat. You know, it was. You know, he just wanted everything to linger, you know, from the smell to the flavor to the taste, you know, before it even hits the taste buds. But it's great fun when you see them and when you see the joy of people when they eat the ribs.
We started at the end of May. May 31st was our first one, and so it's been around 10. But we've also catered barbecues and parties and birthday parties and lunch. I'm not conservative, but I was kind of weary at the beginning of inviting strangers into their home, and Ozzy's African and he's kind of more, oh yeah, let's invite people over, and But then after the first one, it was just amazing how you meet new people. People are just so relaxed in a home environment. And when we have the restaurant, we're going to still have it as a home environment where people can chill, talk, meet new people.
The rub, I'll show you. I've made quite a few. My secret stash. So here we are. So here, of course, it has taken me to get the balance right as well in the flavor, because you have to have a bit of heat, but not too much. You know, I like to have it. You know, you have the heat at the end. You know, so when you always get that at the end. You know, so not when you bite. So you get a bit of sweetness, and then. And then it just goes on and on.
They are, I do have to say, they are the best. I traveled to Austin, Texas, and I've done taste testing there, background in research, so I do research everywhere. And I have to say, Aussie's ribs, sauce, and rub, and coleslaw and potato salad and his beans especially, are at the top of what you can get in Texas or around the world.
If somebody wants to make the rub, always get kosher salt. Because what it does, it sticks onto the meat, and also what it is, it doesn't overpower. Your meat won't be salty, but it just gives flavor because it's very low in sodium. But and because if you use normal salt, and it will just dry up your meat, and you just that's so great.
When people leave and they say the atmosphere and the ambiance of U2. And what's nice as well is, okay, I'll tell the story of Bulelani, I'll tell the story of why we have an art exhibition on the wall, because we also want to showcase artists. So on our wall we have different artists for different pop-ups. Right now we have Priscilla Lawrence, her work. And so I'll tell those stories, you know, and we love people, we love that hosting. And then after that, Ozzy finishes the food, he takes off his apron, grabs a glass of wine, and he sits down with each guest and talks about, you know, our experience, talks about, you know, life. What we're looking for, and I think this is a trend, and you know, people are a lot of collective. A lot of collective ideas. Different people have different ideas on what they're doing. So what we're seeing is a lot of this kind of collective culture. What we want to do is have food, have design, have art, have music, whatever pops up. And so you can have pop art, pop design, pop food. Ozzy does food for the palate. I do food for the thought, food for the mind, food for the eyes. So.